Everybody, post-fight, Justin Gaethje, Edson Barboza for FightPicks.com. How did I do? Well, not great, I thought. I didn't think I did great, but apparently 23rd out of 169. That's not bad, but let's see where it all went wrong on certain fights for me. So, Shaman Moraes, Sodiq Yusuff, I thought they would come out slugging a little bit more. Tactical back and forth fight, good fight. I picked the right winner in Sodiq Yusuff. Great third round for him. Got the mount, almost knocked Moraes out. Credit to Moraes for staying in the fight, but it was back and forth and went the decision. So I thought it'd be a first round knockout. I thought they'd really come out slugging. They did not. Paul Craig versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. This fight was awful. Really terrible, dirty, the eye pokes. Just a really, really messy one with a lot of stoppages, a lot of stops and starts, and Paul Craig going for it from guard from the beginning. Usually, if you don't catch a submission early with that strategy, you don't catch one late. And that's exactly what he did. He caught the late triangle, 420 of the last round. But Nzechukwu, I thought this was kind of a setup fight for him, coming off of a big win, Dana White's Contender Series. Paul Craig, 1-3 in his last 4 fights. I really thought Nzechukwu would be able to put it on him early, and he put it on him early, but wasn't able to finish him. Paul Craig hung tough and got the triangle from the bottom. Triangle sweep, ended up on top. Great stuff for the finish. Paul Craig just scrappy in that one, but all in all, a terrible fight. I really expected it to be a lot better. Next up, Michelle Waterson, Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I thought Kowalkiewicz had to stand up to win this one, but Michelle Waterson owned her on the ground. Absolutely owned her. Great takedown, great ground and pound. Almost broke her arm in the second round. I was feeling sympathy pains from that one. She was cranking hard on it. So, excellent with the stand-up. Kowalkiewicz had her moments with the kickboxing, but it was really Waterson on the ground owning this fight. So great stuff for her. She really moves up. I think she got a big bump as a fighter. A lot of fans talking about her post-fight speech and a lot of connecting with the fans, and that's huge. So she really has the all-around package, the persona, the fight style to really be a factor in this division, if not get a title shot soon. Josh Emmett, Michael Johnson. This fight was going the way I thought it would go right until, boom, the shot from Josh Emmett. Michael Johnson doing well at range with his boxing. Josh Emmett's throwing a lot of big, wide punches, but he finally connected one. Round 3, 4-14. Great stuff for him. Really excellent. But I picked Michael Johnson by decision, and it was Josh Emmett by knockout in the third. Then I got back on track. I thought it was Hermanson by submission over David Branch, and that's exactly what it was. I thought it would be a second rounder. I didn't think he'd catch him this early. David Branch can be very tough early on in the first round. So I thought Hermanson would kind of have to wear him down, maybe ride an early storm and find his rhythm. Nope. Guillotine choke 49 seconds into the first round. So got back on track with that one, and in the main event, you had to go KO. It was just a matter of which fighter and at what time. Ended up being Justin Gaethje in the first round. Edson Barboza looked good with the stand-up, especially with the leg kicks. But I really got the feeling that, in a sense, it kind of cost him in that he was going to the leg kicks, and Justin had to turn it up. Like, look, I can't take these for 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds. I got to end this now. So it seemed like the leg kicks, although they were really effective for Edson Barboza, gave Justin Gaethje a real sense of urgency. This is a guy who looks for the knockout anyway, but he was almost like, all right, I'm not taking this. Moved forward and landed the big shot for a first-round knockout. Great stuff. Biggest win of his career. If you look at Justin Gaethje, of course, great fights against Poirier and Eddie Alvarez on the losing end of those. But up until this point, it was Michael Johnson, tough but middle-of-the-road kind of guy. James Vick, who was kind of the up-and-coming... he's a kid, that was his big first test was Justin Gaethje. So able to get a knockout there. Edson Barboza is the first veteran, elite, solid top 10, maybe even top 5 guy that Justin Gaethje beat in the UFC. And he beat him by knockout. So in a sense, it's a step up in terms of the competition and where he sits in this division. But Justin Gaethje's Justin Gaethje. So he's always going to move forward and sling big punches. And a lot of people are saying he's MMA's Arturo Gatti. I think he has more potential to go higher than Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti, for those that remember the great Arturo Gatti, was a great fighter, a scrapper, heart, guts for days, always looked terrible against elite talent. That was kind of his problem, is he looked great against good fighters. He looked terrible against great fighters. Justin Gaethje, Edson Barboza, you could argue, of this era is a great fighter. Obviously just under contender status, has never fought for a title. But, Justin Gaethje, obviously, first-round knockout against him. So the question is, A, how does he do against a well-rounded guy who won't necessarily stand there and bang with him? Because the UFC has done a good job so far in putting Justin Gaethje against guys who will at least engage him on the feet. Who, while elite, especially Alvarez and Poirier, will stand and trade with you. My question is, how does Justin Gaethje do against someone who won't stand and trade with him? Maybe a more wrestling-centric fighter. Maybe a fighter who's a little bit slick, a little bit trickier, who will not engage in the firefight that makes Justin Gaethje Justin Gaethje. That's a big question for me, is how does he engage that kind of fighter? And also, will we see kind of a steep drop? Because he takes damage in every single fight. The guy just goes to war. How long will Justin Gaethje stay Justin Gaethje long enough to get maybe that title shot? Or will we start seeing in a couple fights that he's just taken too many? Because he goes to war every time. Great for us, great as fans, not great for a long career that involves some title fights in it. So those are the questions I have for Justin Gaethje. By the way, great performance. Really like him. I've always been a gentleman. So I hope he does well. But those are my questions moving forward. Will they give him a non-banger? And will he have the longevity at the top to really make something out of this run? So anyway, those are my thoughts on my fightpicks.com picks. Hopefully better next time, but still not bad. So join me, fightpicks.com. Sign up with the promo code jimmysmith, all one word, either lowercase or uppercase, and find out how you did. Once again, I was 23rd out of 169, so the numbers are growing. But go ahead and sign up, go against me, and see how you do. All right, thanks so much.